Hello? Hello? Is this thing on? Hi. You know, these Rotom cameras are always acting a little bit weird, so think it's working or think I'm good. So, hey everybody, I'm Dr. Dogwood, and just been busy in the lab trying to resurrect some fossils. They make it look so easy on TV. It's really hard, so we'll see if we get anything out of this, but it might take a little bit of time. But let me get a few things down. Oh, hold on one second. Gosh darn it. Okay, so we got Houndour. Okay, Houndour right here is getting a little bit feisty, so give me 1 sec. I gotta go let him outside. He pees fire, so might see some burn patches around school. Sorry about that, but okay. Sorry, you caught me at a busy time in the lab, but it's great to see you guys. I know it's a little weird doing it digitally, but it is so great to have you. I love seeing brand new trainers coming in and getting excited about Pokemon. I know, I got into Pokemon when I was about your age, so let me tell you a little bit about myself, and then we're gonna go ahead and get you set up with some Pokemon of your own. You probably noticed you got a starter box. We're gonna get into that. There are so many fun things that are planned this week, and I hope that your journey continues. In whatever form that might take. And if some people love like the beauty contest, or maybe you love battling, we'll have a little bit of everything. Maybe you're a Pokemon breeder. We got some fun things planned for that as well. But let me go over a few things about myself, and I'll help you guys figure out your trainer profiles as well. So like I said, I am Professor Dogwood. I know we had to have everybody had to have a theme of trees, which fits perfectly for Walden. If I don't say so myself. So, technology, back in the old days, all you needed was, a Raichu, and that's where you got your electricity from. So, give me just a second to figure this out. All right, there we go. All right, a few things about myself. I was born way back in time, in 1987, and I remember in 1996, they just discovered Pokemon. It was the coolest and most amazing thing in the world. Professor Oak was actually my mentor. So I went to Kanto in 1996, long way away, all the way over in a region of Japan. So they discovered Pokemon, and it was the most amazing, cool thing in the world. Now, I loved animals, but you're telling me that they have animals that also have superpowers? Pretty amazing. So I started off with Professor Oak gave me the 3 options. We got Squirtle, pretty cool. Turtle, pretty awesome. We got Charmander, which, granted Charizard is pretty awesome, especially when you got your Megas. But I had to go old school, plant-based, green hair, gotta go green. I went with Bulbasaur, my very first Pokemon, and something, even though there's, don't tell him I said this, cooler grass Pokemon nowadays, I absolutely loved my Bulbasaur. So I keep him to this day. Anytime I can get a Bulbasaur in a game, I am totally down for that. A few things about myself. My interests were always with the science. I love studying. So when I got my first Pokedex and Professor Oak was like, go out, study the Pokemon, collect them all, I was all about that. And when I had friends that had the other games, made sure we traded as well so I could get all 151 Pokemon. But don't tell Professor Oak I had to cheat a little bit to get that Mew, but we got there and it was awesome. And I know everybody loves Mewtwo. I loved Mew, but don't worry, I captured them in the Pokédex and then released them out into the wild. So I make sure that my Pokemon are always my friends. I never capture them and then just sit them in a box. I always make sure that we travel along together, and I'm gonna try to show you guys a few of them later on in the week. They're kind of sleeping right now because we're getting ready for a big battle on Friday. Don't you worry, I'm bringing my A game, you better bring yours as well. So, everyone has, and this is one of those things that you're going to, in just a little bit of time, you're gonna create a trainer profile. And that is the kind of trainer that you want to be. So everybody has different interests, different backstories. Maybe you're the type of person that loves the thrill of the battle, and you make sure that you breed and you train, you get those EVs and those IVs up. That is awesome. Maybe you just like the fun of it and you like to go for an adventure. Maybe you like studying the science of it. That is awesome as well. Or maybe you like the Pokemon contests. Or if you just want a friend and you want to form that bond with that Pokemon, that is awesome. Everybody has a different style, everybody has a different purpose, and that is wonderful. And you are down to do whatever you want, and that's what you get to do today, is you get to create a trainer profile. So you need to ask yourself, what is your backstory? Where do you come from? What is your mission? Why are you here? And then, what type of Pokemon are you interested in? Are you interested in really strong Pokemon? Are you interested in really cool looking Pokemon? Really pretty Pokemon? Super cute Pokemon? One type? Maybe lots of different types? Maybe just a few types? Maybe you just want that one solid Pokemon? That's totally fine. Now for me, I'm all about a nice varied team. I know that there's lots of gym trainers that like all water, all grass. I think that sets you up, if you are going to battle, that gives you a lot of weaknesses. So you want to make sure that if you have all water, that you maybe have one fire type just in case to throw if somebody's going to go all grass type at you. But you don't have to do that. You can do whatever you'd like. Now for me, I like the ones that are really cool looking. I have always gone for varied types so that I make sure to kind of have one in each category. Granted, you can only have 6. I don't know whoever made that rule. It'd be cool if you could like fight 20 of them, right? That would take forever. But I like to have lots of different types of the main types and kind of switch them out. And then I also really like the really cool looking ones, the really pretty ones. That's what I like. That's totally fine if it's not what you like. Just because I might like Lapras and you're like, but I really like Ammonite. That's cool, that's awesome. There are 800 some Pokemon, you choose yours. That is awesome. And everybody has their favorites, and that's okay to have your favorite. So there's different types. There's the kind of normal or physical attacks, and then there's special attacks, which get a double boost when you're dealing with your own type. I usually go for special attacks. There's some people that go for status move effects or play offensive or defensive. I'm old school. I just go right at. I don't worry about the sand attacks, and I don't worry about status changes, sleep powder, and other things unless I'm trying to catch Pokemon. Then those are really useful, especially the ones that'll go down to 1 HP and then just hold on. And if you can knock them asleep or paralyze them, it helps catch them a little bit easier, if you know what I mean. But I really like the special attacks. So in a little bit of time, you are going to create a trainer profile. So I want you thinking about that in your head of what kinds of Pokemon do you like? What kinds of Pokemon do you want to catch? Because you're going to catch Pokemon every single day. And then you've got sheets that you're going to write down. You might have to use the internet because you might have like, oh, I really like this one, but I forgot what it looks like or forgot what it's named or what its attacks are. The internet Bulbapedia is really, really great for researching that because lots of us professors have, really filled in those Pokedexes and then uploaded it on the internet, which is pretty cool. My absolute favorite Pokemon type is grass. Like I said, you gotta go grass all the way. I also really, really like Dragon. When they first discovered Pokemon all the way back in 1996, 24 years ago. Oh goodness, 24 years ago. Pretty old. So when they discovered the Pokemon, Dragon was OP, overpowered. It was the strongest Pokemon type. And then when they a little while ago came out with Fairy type, it made it a little bit more of an even playing field. I love Fairy type. I think they're really, really cool Pokemon. I just am old school and I really like my Dragon types as well. But I got a little bit of everything. So would you guys like to meet my Pokemon? I don't have them in person because again, they're sleeping, they're getting ready. I've been training them hard, and I hope you guys, after today, you're gonna get your first Pokemon and start catching, that you guys are gonna train your Pokemon hard every single day so that you guys are ready for Friday's fight. So, I'm gonna introduce you to some of my Pokemon, and then we'll get started with some of those fun activities, okay? Okay, so my Pokemon. My absolute favorite Pokemon, which when I'm saying about the cute aesthetic, Bulbasaur was really cute. Ivysaur, and then Venusaur. But I love the Mega Evolution. I love the flowers that have come to play. I think it's really, really cool. But Venusaur is my absolute favorite Pokemon. My 2 moves that I absolutely love, but it depends on, you gotta be versatile, you gotta be ready to change. I love Razor Leaf and I love Solar Beam. Now, if you guys know, Solar Beam takes 2 turns, but it's totally worth it because that is a huge attack. Same thing with Hyper Beam. My next Pokemon, so I have my Grass type. Now, it depends on kind of the day I'm feeling, but I have 2 electric types. Now, I used to use Raichu, was my absolute favorite, but I wanted to diversify it a little bit. So I have Luxray, which I love, super cute as a baby, and worked hard on training it and evolving it, and I finally got a Luxray. And then Ampharos. Now this is a Mega Ampharos, which is really, really cool that they added the dragon type to it. So that adds, you know, extra. But that little Mareep, that little sheep, I'm a farm girl at heart, so when you give me a farm Pokemon, I am all about that. My kind of favorite attacks, I love Wild Charge, I love Thunder. You'll notice I love to go all or nothing, big attacks. Now the accuracy goes down as the attack goes up, but that's kind of my playing style, is all out attacks. Now, next up, we've got my Dragon Pokemon. So, I originally started my favorite Pokemon for the Dragon type was, of course, the Dragon, which was Dragonite, which is really, really awesome to see. Still love it, but as new Pokemon were discovered, I fell in love with Goodra. A little bit drippy, a little bit sticky, but super cool, super cute aesthetic, and just an all-over just super sweet Pokemon. Big Pokemon, but really, really cool. I love Dragon Pulse and I love Hyper Beam. Again, the trade-off, unlike Solar Beam where you have to charge and then you get the attack, you have Hyper Beam attacks. If you can knock it as a 1 KO, awesome. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for the next attack where you have to wait and you have to rest. But with these 2 on your side, they're pretty strong Pokemon. They usually can KO weaker opponents, which is pretty awesome. Now, I wasn't a fan of Fire type in town. Now, there are some people that are full Growlithe, Arcanine, awesome, look at the dogs. I loved Kitsunes, which is what this is based on. And we're going to talk about in another day or so, we're going to talk about some of the history of where these Pokemon came from, what inspired them. And one of those things was the Kitsune, which is in Japanese folklore, the fox, the fox. But they are shapeshifters, they're intelligent, they're long-lived. The more tails they have, the smarter they are. So a 9-tailed fox has lived for a very, very long time, very, very intelligent. So when I saw Vulpix, adorable, of course, but when it evolved into this majestic beast of 9 tails, and then when they went to Hawaii and they found the Alolan Ninetales, and they had the gorgeous and the ice typing, so cool, so creative. I fell in love with both of those, but of course, the one that I have, I don't have the ice type one. I went to Hawaii, I sight saw, or the Alola region, but I didn't get a chance to catch any. But it was really, really awesome to see all the really cool, Wishy-Washy was a really cool Pokemon as well. But my original Pokemon is still my Ninetales. There's really great diversity in the fire typing. So I hope you guys have fun and catch some really, really cool ones. We're almost to the end. We got, I think, one more and then the end. And where there's grass, where there's fire, of course there's gotta be water, right? So Vaporeon, I love the evolutions. I wish they had more of those, but you know, per region they kind of say 1 just because then everyone would want, because EVs are so awesome and they can evolve in so many different ways. So my Eevee, I chose to use that as my water Pokemon, and I loved Vaporeon. It's a beautiful Pokemon, super loyal Pokemon, but it also is a really strong fighter. And I love the Hydro Pump. Aqua Ring is also a really great water move. And then Lapras. Now Lapras was great as far as Surf. Surf was an awesome moveset in battles, but it was also great to get around. And I am not really good when it goes to kayaking, so anytime I'm near the water, I'm like, hey, Lapras, oh, it's only a few feet of water. You can do it. You can get me across the water. So Lapras is a great transport Pokemon, really strong battler. The ice type makes it a little bit weak to some things, but if you have the right combination, really strong, really great, really intelligent Pokemon. Now, I think we're coming up to the very last Pokemon here. And this is one of the ones that, now, Team Mystic likes to use it on their, and you might look at that first sheet you got in your binder and say, oh, okay, Professor Dogwood is part of Team Mystic. I'm not part of any of those teams, okay? Because my absolute second favorite, of course Venusaur is my favorite because it was my first Pokemon, my absolute favorite and the only legendary I've caught and kept to date was Articuno. Because Articuno, now I tried to release it, but it bonded so heavily to me, and I'll show you my Articuno later in the week, because it is such an intelligent creature, and it is something that it bonded with me because it saw just how strong of a trainer I was. So I really love my Articuno, and I know that Team Mystic was like, oh, we'll put Articuno on everything. Now I don't have the rights to it. And I happened to give the trainer, when she was a little tiny kid, I gave her an Articuno egg, and now it's become, legendary that now we have those three different teams. But I'm gonna come back in just a few minutes to explain a few more things. So I'll see you guys in just a second, okay?